Lalu Prasad Yadav, the RJD leader, has been granted bail by the Supreme Court. His case came up for hearing in the Apex Court just a while ago. He has received a big breather from the Supreme Court. Supreme Court granting bail to Lalu Prasad Yadav, the chief of the RJD, who was convicted in the multi-crore fodder scam. So that's the big breaking news coming in at this point. Lalu Prasad Yadav, the RJD chief, has got bail from the Supreme Court. Jaskira Singh Bawa is joining us on the phone line. Jaskira, over to you.
Well, Ranchi was able to get the bail for Lalu Prasad Yadav. He was representing Lalu Yadav, and the bench was headed by Chief Justice of India. Some of the contentions that were put forward with the fact that 37 out of the 44 people who were convicted in this scam have already received bail. There's another person by the name of Rana who has charges against him and a punishment against him which is similar to the nature of Lalu Yadav, who also received bail earlier, either in the High Court or at the High Court level. And the fact that Lalu Prasad Yadav had already served 10 months before conviction and 2 to 3 months after conviction in prison. His appeal is pending in front of the Jharkhand High Court in Ranchi right now. Given all those facts and given the jurisprudence, the principles of jurisprudence, Lalu Prasad Yadav has also received bail but from the Supreme Court of India. Now, he's only joined the long list of people in this particular case who had applied for bail and have received bail, and he actually becomes one of the last people to actually receive bail in this particular scam.
Just stay on with me for a moment more. Let me quickly go across to Rohit Singh, who's joining us on the phone line from Patna. Rohit, this is also politically very significant. Just take us through the importance of these developments. Supreme Court granting bail to Lalu Prasad Yadav, who had been convicted in the fodder scam.
Well, absolutely, it's a very significant development as far as Bihar politics is concerned, because Lalu Yadav going to jail really meant that the RJD was almost on the back foot, and there was no one very senior to lead the party. In fact, Rabri Devi was leading the party in the absence of Lalu Prasad Yadav. But now that Lalu Yadav will be coming back and he will be once again heading the party.
Just hold on for a moment, Rohit. I believe we have Lalu Prasad Yadav's son, Tejasvi Yadav, on the phone line with us at this point. Tejasvi, your first reactions to the big relief that is coming in for Lalu Prasad Yadav from the Supreme Court?
Yeah, definitely a relief, and we knew it. We had all the faith from the judiciary as well, from the court also, and we got the bail, and we hope that Laluji will get the acquittal also in the coming case.
Right, but he has been disqualified from the Lok Sabha after he was convicted in this case. He's been banned from contesting elections for the next 6 years. How do you think this is going to impact the fortunes of your party, of the RJD, in the upcoming elections in 2014?
See, there is no issue. As we said earlier also, Laluji, the name is for the ideology, and all our party members are intact, even all from the workers and the senior leaders also. We all are totally intact, and we all are together, and we are doing Sabha everywhere, and we are getting support from the public also. So we hopefully will be doing good in upcoming elections also, and Laluji will be there now, and we hope will be doing good.
But what are the immediate plans, Tejasvi, now that the Supreme Court has granted him bail? He will be out of the Birsa Munda prison where he has been for the last 2 months or so. And now will he be taking active part in campaigning for the RJD in the upcoming elections?
Yeah, we pray that it's going to happen like this also, and we're going to do all the campaigning. Even my dad is going to do the campaigning all over. And we hope that this case, Laluji get the acquittal also, so he will be eligible to fight the election also. If he will get the stay also in that case, still he is able to fight the elections. So that's a matter of the court, and we have all faith from the judiciary.
Right, Tejasvi, I'd also like to know from you, what about the party itself, the succession plan, as many had questioned, had gone awry after Lalu Prasad Yadav was jailed when he was convicted in the fodder scam. Does it change things within the RJD for now?
See, this case is already, we have said earlier also, it's all political conspiracy. And there is no evidence, there is no any, कुछ गवाह वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं है इस केस में. And we have been saying this to our public also, and public has been supporting us in this matter.
All right, Tejasvi, and what would you want to say to your detractors, to your opponents in Bihar who had almost written off the RJD after Lalu Prasad Yadav was convicted? With this relief that has come for him and for your party, what would you want to say to your opponents?
I guess they will be afraid now, and whatever they were saying, that party will be breaking down. But
everything according to law होना चाहिए, कानून के मुताबिक सब चीज होनी चाहिए. अगर कानून के द्वारा उनको बेल मिली है तो उसका स्वागत है, नहीं मिलती तो भी स्वागत था, क्योंकि सबसे ऊंचा है कानून. और जब सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने ये बात कह दी है तो हम उसका स्वागत करते हैं.
All right, so that was the Union Law Minister, Kapil Sibal, who said that we welcome this decision by the Supreme Court. It is through the legal process that he has been granted relief, and we welcome this move. So it's the Supreme Court granting Lalu Prasad Yadav bail, which could have serious implications as far as the contest in Bihar is concerned. The fight between the RJD, the JDU and the BJP, apart from the Congress in the state, most political parties, the opposing parties in fact had written off Lalu Prasad Yadav after he was convicted, though he cannot contest election for the next 6 years. But this certainly will be a big boost for the RJD. Lalu Prasad Yadav has been granted bail by the Supreme Court today after he was convicted in the fodder scam. I believe my colleague Rohit Singh is still with us on the phone line. Rohit, though it will be still some time before we get reactions from other political parties on this key development, but just put things in perspective for us at the moment. It seems we've lost that line. We'll try and reconnect with our correspondent Rohit Singh, who will be joining us from Patna, and we'll also get some reactions from parties like the JDU and the BJP, how they see this big relief for Lalu Prasad Yadav, which has come from Supreme Court. It's granted bail to Rashtriya Janata Dal chief Lalu Prasad Yadav in connection with the fodder scam case. Well, Jaskirat Singh Baba is with us right now from outside Supreme Court. Jaskirat, just take us through the arguments that took place. You were telling us Ram Jethmalani was Lalu Prasad Yadav's lawyer. What really happened in court?
Well, this is the second day of argument that actually happened back on November 29th is when the case was actually adjourned for today. The arguments are basically centered around parity of justice. The contention from Ram Jethmalani on behalf of Lalu Prasad Yadav was that 44 people were convicted in this particular case with regards to the specific scam. 37 out of those 44 people had applied for bail and had received bail. And of course, there were some other bail applications which... The contention was also that people who had been convicted on the same charges and had received a similar punishment, including a person by the name of Rana, had already received bail from the lower court, since whether that be the Jharkhand High Court or whether that be the lower court where they had originally applied for bail. And that Lalu Prasad Yadav was perhaps one of the remaining very few people who hadn't received bail. Now, going by the principles of jurisprudence, because the appeal is already pending in the Jharkhand High Court against his conviction, the Supreme Court bench headed by Chief Justice of India actually granted bail to Lalu Yadav.